Hello, this is the diary of the World Nomad Games on Kazakh TV. We continue to acquaint you with the most unusual guests of the Nomad competitions. In everyday life, many of our heroes work as doctors, teachers, and office workers. At the Games, they reincarnated as archers and riders, wrestlers and knights. Nomad Games are more than sports. We will tell you why. This is similar to the reconstruction of historical events. Athletes in line of fire in special suits from the time of Khans. Everyone wants to stand out. This is one of the most popular sport at the Nomad Games. There are many participants and many spectators. Traditions of nomadic peoples are continued by athletes archers from Kazakhstan, Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Turkey, the USA. The list is endless. For nomads, archery was a way to survive. Now it is a beautiful sport. In the Gorge Kirchen, there were three kinds of competitions: shooting on horseback, on range, and on accuracy. Conclusion that we need to bring up at first. After seeing the competition, this sport has many fans around the world. Rais Nizamedinov participated at the Games for the second time. Archery is his hobby. His friends joke that he didn't play enough when he was a child. In my childhood, I made many bows. I made one out of the bird cherry tree. We made the arrowheads out of a tin can. All children did it. First of all, I think it's in the blood. Second of all, it's very spectacular. And third, it's developing many muscle groups. Those who practice archery improve their eyesight. In all seriousness, it is a constant exercise for the eyes. The first bow and arrow, or its prototype, appeared 50,000 years ago. In Africa, archaeologists have discovered the oldest stone arrowheads. Approximately 3,000 years ago, the bow and arrows began to be used as weapons. Archers were valuable warriors. They could hit the target a few hundred meters away from it. There are two types of grip: Asian and European. Asian warriors shot with their thumbs, and when they took prisoner, they cut off his thumb so that he could not shoot. Modern style of archery is an Olympic sport. At the Nomadic Games, athletes competed in shooting from the traditional bow, that is the weapons used by our ancestors.
Is it your first time on the World Nomad Games?
Yes.
And how is it? How do you like it?
I don't see how anyone gets anything done here because it's so beautiful, it's so distracting, there's just so much to look at. It's a beautiful event and it's a lot of fun so far, and everyone has been very, very kind. I learned it when I was about 9 years old. I learned how to shoot from a local archery range in Houston.
Yeah, so you must be very good in it.
No. I only moved to traditional about 10 years ago. So I was doing modern archery.
And what is the most important part of the body? It's arms, fingers, head?
The back, and the thumb. I make everything that I have on.
Yeah?
I do all my own leather. I do all of my sewing. So we don't have much of that in America, unfortunately. So it's hard to get there. So my bow was made by my sponsor, Kasava Grozer in Hungary.
The athlete must have an individual bow. As a rule, it weighs about a kilogram and reaches 130 centimeters in length. Traditional bows are a real work of art, handmade. The master made a particularly skillful copies for several months. The most simple took a couple of days to make. The price of weapons can reach up to thousands of dollars.
Вот у нас стоимость лука была, как сейчас, допустим.
In the past, a bow's price was equal to the price of 4 horses. The masters who made bows were very few. People knew them. One battle bow was made for 3 years, because the tree had to be cut down at a certain moment, when the juices from the tree would go. Then they made a bowstring. It was made from horse hair, preferably of a light color. They were considered better. Arrows from 20-30 meters could pierce horse through. That's how lethal the force of this weapon was.
Пробивали лошадь насквозь, то есть настолько была сильная убойная сила, но это было очень грозным оружием.
Один вот такой лук изготавливается примерно от 16 до 20 часов.
It took 16 to 20 hours to make one such bow. Each athlete makes it to order. In order to pull the bowstring, you need a lot of effort. Initially, it seems that everything is simple, but it is really not. The left hand holds a bow, an arrow is on the left side. Shoot! Obviously, it's impossible to make it in the sport without experience and skill, especially if you compete on horseback. The rider must hit 3 targets per race. For every shot, no more than 2 seconds. Judges assess speed and accuracy. The performances of women are especially interesting for spectators. Susan Winfield, in the ordinary life, organizes music festivals in her native Texas. A year ago, she planned to spend her vacation in Kyrgyzstan.
I'm newer to the sport than she is. I've ridden horses almost my entire life, and the archery part I started just under 2 years ago. When shortly after I moved to Texas, I learned about Serena and some of her friends in the area that were mounted archers, and I said I must try this out and see if I like it, and I love it. And now, fast forward 2 years later, here we are today as the United States team competing at the World Nomad Games, and we are so excited to be here.
Gold medals in competitions with archers were won by representatives of Turkey, Hungary, and Russia. In the asset of Kazakh athletes, 1 silver and 1 bronze. That's how the riders distinguished themselves. There are many archers in Kazakhstan. Here we perform in all kinds of competitions. A good team is represented in archery. In this sport, every detail is important. How you shoot, how you stand, it's all to be taken into account. Another sport that surprised a large number of participants, Ordo, or Asikatu. To say briefly about the game, its main attribute is the bones of the hind legs of artiodactyls, more often small cattle. Ordo, one of the oldest games of nomads, the participation of the Czech Republic team in the games was unexpected and quite successful. As it turned out, in order to collect the national team, its captain Jan Vains put an advertisement to the local newspaper. Several people responded with joy.
One of the Kyrgyzstan volunteers came to the Czech Republic and showed us. We did the training in the Czech Republic, and then because we arrived here 3 days sooner than the game started, so we made few practices with Kyrgyzstan team. So that was the most important stuff for us. The most difficult thing is the proper way of throwing, you know, because it's quite complex movement, using your shoulder, your hand, and the wrist, and you need to spin the bow. And this is something that when we try the parts, it's okay, but when you try to do it at once, all the moving of shoulder, hand, and doing the twist, it's very, very difficult to do and to hit the stone.
Each team in the tournament showed its style of play. The US team was not able to win medals, but the audience remembered it for its bright fight. The team's players have learned the rules perfectly.
So we learned about World Nomad Games around the time we came to Kyrgyzstan about a year ago, so we learned about some of the general sports, but we learned more about Ordo a little bit after that. I think the Kyrgyz team would probably be our strongest rival. All of the teams are really good, and so they're giving us a lot of great pointers so we can get better at the game as well.
Орда ойыны осы қырғыздардың ойындары бұл негізі. Біздің қазақтың ойыны асық ату ғой.
Ordo is the national sport of Kyrgyzstan. It reminds us of the Asikatu, but the rules to which we are accustomed are different. It is our second time at the games. We want to take medals. Our team consists of players from different regions: Karaganda, Shymkent, Astana, Taraz, and Kokshetau. Our team won the 3rd place in Ordo competitions. The team of Kyrgyzstan won the gold. The competitions of the Nomads collected a large number of bright teams and guests of the games. We will talk about them in the next program. Don't forget to tune in.